Madam Clerk, could you call the roll? Okay. For those that want to orally address the city council, you can dial in this number,
We don't have any.
888-251-2949, or 215-861-0694. Let me do that again, 215-861-0694. And the access code for either number is 257-285-8#. Now,
Excuse me, Mayor.
yes,
Just for clarification, I would like to also announce that the successor agency, Housing Authority and Parking Authority, are also in session.
thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, any person wishing to address the city council on any item on today's agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time. Operator, do we have any callers?
We do. We can take the first.
Caller, go ahead.
Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. It's good to hear you guys again on the telephone where residents have access. And we would like to do on the agenda, discuss, give a brief oral report concerning AB 361. That's the Brown Act, with the virtual and being in violation without it. And also, we need better communication with the residents. Most people don't even know it's back to the telephone.
Mr. Matthew, right now you're going to have to deal with something that's on the agenda, and then we can come back for the 1 minute.
Something on the agenda. Look, give me my time back.
2 seconds. Go ahead.
Same old game. You're up to your same old game. See,
Mr. Matthew, you have to talk about something on the agenda right now.
Well, if you stop talking, I'm going to talk. Okay, we can sing, but we can't talk together. You got that right? So just be calm. Just calm down and slow your roll. I'm talking about AB 361. It's DR1. Do you read it on the agenda? Do you know what 361 is? I'm asking for a brief oral report to explain it to the residents.
Mr. Matthew, you are so right. Continue on.
Look, Jimmy, I have fun with you, so I don't get angry. But you are a trip.
We have fun with each other. Go ahead.
But you are a trip, man. Anyway, have the city attorney explain 361. And please, you got residents supporting you, but you don't know it. And you can't get them to support you when they don't know nothing. How are they going to know anything where there's so much misinformation? And you're not doing anything to inform them, and you still got your 3 turkeys sitting up there. All they're doing is quacking. They don't have no contact with the residents.
You're not going to include Dion? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm going to include Dion as a hen turkey. We got 4 of them now.
Oh,
you got
okay.
3 toms. You got 3 toms and 1 hen. And I call it turkey when they don't take charge of their community. All politics are local. We can do a lot of things local if we had some leaders. You're providing leadership, but you don't have no help. And it's that way. Okay, I'm done, man. Okay, but
Thank you, Gil. Thank you, operator.
Yeah,
Operator, the next caller, please.
Okay, we'll move to the next caller.
Regarding number 3, Title 2 and Title 6 violations are still happening. So until it is resolved, I believe the city and police are unable to get any money from the federal or the state. And the Chief Fronterati, you still haven't had your follow-up meetings, and I still haven't gotten the information that I've requested. repeatedly. DR1, I'm thankful that Governor Newsom has seen the need to protect statutory and constitutional rights of the public and ensure citizens can have direct and safe access to address the powers that be and the agendized items. And also is noted the clear and egregious and aggressive abuses of power and silencing of citizens, which is unproductive and regressive. Much still needs to be done to address and resolve a lack of communication, information resolution. The mayor's continued habit of trying to identify citizens who have not identified themselves, elected officials and employees, ongoing refusal to return phone calls, emails, provide info, set meetings, block emails, block citizens from entering City Hall to conduct critical business with the city, and more. Number 4, I can see that Lewis Atwell was able to negotiate contract for sewer companies. However, it's been more than 5 months that I still have not had no definitive response regarding street markings for apparent upcoming excavations on my street in front of my house. Is this related? It's too much lead work on my part and no communication from you. I see you're increasing illegal rates and scope, and it appears that the mayor continues to knowing and deliberately do things that he should not be indemnified for, and or for his past actions.
Are you done, Ms. Kraft?
Again, the mayor is trying to identify a caller who has not identified themselves. Please note it yet again. It's 207. He has been repeatedly requested not to do this for over a year and something now, and he continues to do this. This is egregious. This is not trying to protect statutory or constitutional rights of any citizen, so it is a violation of the Brown Act, even under the new rules.
It really isn't, Ms.
Thank
Kraft.
you.
Go ahead. All right, thank you very much. Operator, next caller.
Those are all the callers we have at this time.
Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. And right now, we have a resolution of intent to participate in the Great California Shakeout, which I thought was happening last night with all the thunder and lightning. Okay, it shook my house. I said, what is going on?
Yeah, it's sunny today.
Right?
It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't scare easy. Okay, whereas the city of Inglewood recognizes that no community is immune from natural hazards, whether it be earthquake, wildfire, flood, winter storms, drought, heat wave, or dam failure, and recognizes the importance of enhancing its ability to withstand natural hazards, as well as the importance of reducing the human suffering, property damage, interruption of public services, and economic losses caused by these hazards. And whereas major earthquakes pose a particular significant and ongoing threat to the entire city, and whereas the city has a responsibility to promote earthquake preparedness internally, as well as with the public, and plan appropriately for earthquake-related disasters, and whereas the protection of city employees will allow them to facilitate the continuity of government and assist the public following any major earthquake event, and whereas community resiliency to earthquakes and other disasters depend on the preparedness levels of all stakeholders in the community, individuals, families, schools, community organizations, faith-based organizations, nonprofits, businesses, and government. And whereas by participating in the Great California Shakeout on October 21st, 2021, the city of Inglewood has had the opportunity to join and support all Californians in strengthening community and regional resiliency. And whereas by supporting the Great California Shakeout, the city of Inglewood can utilize the information on www.shakeout.org/California to educate its residents regarding actions to protect life and property, including mitigating structural and non-structural hazards and participating in earthquake drills. And whereas by registering at that aforementioned URL, city employees can participate in the Shakeout, drop, cover, and hold earthquake drill on October 21st at 10:21 a.m. and encourage the public, schools, and businesses and other community stakeholders to also register. Now, therefore, be it known that the mayor and council members of the city of Inglewood, California, do hereby proclaim and approve the city's participation in the Great California Shakeout for the purpose of building a better prepared and more resilient community by reducing the loss of lives and property from a major earthquake, presented this 5th day of October, 2021 by the mayor and council. I feel like I'm taking one of those tests in the hospital to check my cognitive abilities.
I know, right?
It's like a test, you know? All the words. Okay. Thank you. And now we move on to our items. DR1.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution making findings required by AB 361 to continue teleconference meetings of the City Council and all city boards and commissions for the month of October 2021.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
City Council, successor agency members, and Housing Authority members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. PH1.
Public hearing to consider zoning code amendment 2021 through 001 to Chapter 12 of the Inglewood Municipal Code to modify regulations for smoke shops citywide.
Continued public hearing to the meeting of October 12th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Consent calendar, items 2 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR2.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 through 2022 budget to recognize the Library Services Department.
And with slight correction to reorganize.
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, reorganize. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a closed session regarding Brown versus City of Inglewood. As to that, status of the case was provided to the City Council. No reportable action taken. As to A2, there's no reports from the City Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. A3, CSA 2, and P1.
Staff report recommending approval of Amendment Number 4 to Agreement Number 18-118 with Miller Bonders LLP, increasing the hourly rate for non-MSG-related legal matters for broad-ranging legal advice, guidance, and representation.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members, successor agency members, and parking authority members Dotson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. With that, we'll adjourn the Housing Authority, the Successor Agency, and the Parking Authority. CM1, reports by the City Manager.
No oral report, sir.
Thank you, sir. CC1.
Yes, Mayor. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Mayor. Thank you so much. Want to inform our residents that the drop boxes are now open. We do have an election coming November the 2nd, and so we have drop boxes that are open at Darby Park, Rogers Park, the Crenshaw and Imperial Library. We have one right across from Inglewood High School on Gravilla, and then also ballots have been mailed out as of yesterday, and so be on the lookout to receive your ballots this week. Our voting locations will be at Center of Hope, Darby Park, Inglewood High School, La Tijera K-8 Academy of Excellence, Monroe Middle School, and Rogers Park. If you have any further questions regarding any polling locations, et cetera, feel free to give my office a call at 310-412-5280. And how about that game on Monday night? Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk. And with that, we have no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. And so now we're to public comment. Any persons that wish to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. 1 minute. Operator, are there any callers?
We do have some callers.
Go ahead, sir. Go right ahead, sir.
Which, sir? On the phone or here?
You.
Okay, I am Ray Holler, trustee for the Family Trust, which owns a house on 118th Street near Yukon Avenue, City Council District 4, Parking Zone 11, Inglewood homeowners for over 70 years. Last week, I encourage you to contact the Parking and Traffic Commission since at the previous meeting, 80 Inglewood residents attended in person to complain about the impact of SoFi Stadium activities and the residential permit parking program. Some have suggested that the purpose of the permit parking program is beyond the scope, beyond the impact of SoFi Stadium. I would not discount any parking problems reported by residents, but I have asked for quantitative data supporting such complaints from my contact at my city council member's office and a most knowledgeable public works staffer, neither responding. This is important for two reasons. A quantitative baseline needs to be established so you can judge the program, and secondly, to judge the need for the program parking zone by parking zone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your input. I'm sure Councilman Rouse may have some input on this as well. This has been a long-standing, long-term problem in our communities because we have some families that have 6, 7 cars, and they park them on other blocks. They hoard parking spaces with one barely functioning vehicle so their family members can come back and take 2 spaces in front of a residence. We have a problem because we have a number of residents that believe that street parking is free parking for anyone that chooses to park there. And that has caused us a building problem. So you're right, this is not totally due to the stadium. It's because we have to have a parking management for our neighborhoods. Councilman Morales.
I believe that that's the right term, parking management for our neighborhoods. We've been trying to address an issue of parking for a number of years already. A number of our streets were constructed narrow. They are there's parking only on one side. Families have begun to grow. The number of cars is just, it cannot be absorbed by the size of the street. Now, adding to those things are that some businesses that have existed on specific corners of the main corridor that deal with vehicle maintenance shops, what they're doing is they're parking their cars on those streets, adding to the problem. In addition, there are a variety of folks that appear to have work vehicles that add to the problem. So we're not actually pretending to have a perfect solution, but we are addressing the problem that has been brought to us over the years by a great number of residents that feel that their quality of life is quite frankly impacted strongly. So we're going to come up with a program that hopefully relieves some of that. And I know that some of the collateral conversations that will be had, we're going to have them. We're going to have them, and we'll address them as we go along. But something needs to be done, and this is what we chose to do.
And I want you to remember this, sir. You know, the average driveway for a residence has can contain 3 cars. If you have a garage, which most, since you have to by code, you could put 2 cars in the garage. But a lot of people choose to use the garage as storage. So you have, ostensibly, you could park 5 cars for your residence, and with 2 parking permits for free, you could have 7 cars. 7 cars. That's an incredible number of vehicles, but we have to do something. This is something that's been a long time coming, and since we had to deal with stadium parking, we dealt with it at the same time. So,
yeah, and just if I could add that, because, you know, I don't want anybody to minimize the fact that the stadium has impacted the parking. Folks are walking, literally, you see them every time there's a game coming from blocks and blocks down the street, and they are parking in our neighborhood. So even though we're addressing a bigger problem, I don't want to minimize the fact that we have been impacted greatly by the events.
Thank you very much, Councilman. And are there any other public comments, operator?
Yes, we do have a few folks on the phone. And just a reminder, if you do have a public comment, you can dial #2 on your telephone keypad. We'll go to the first.
The mayor's actions and inactions and apparent directives are continued ongoing harassment, intimidation, retaliation, and punishment to silence citizens. They're often used to publicly humiliate and create targeting and derisive environment, knowingly, pulling out people. And if you think you know who callers are, even if you're wrong, it's your responsibility, Padilla's, Atwell's, Fields, and other employees, to respond to their requests and their information. Also, the Citizen Police Commission, Citizen Police Oversight Commission, and Chief Public Police Chief Fonterrada have not been in here. And so he personally doesn't take meetings, doesn't respond to things, and hasn't resolved many things that have been illegal in his department and that have caused civil rights and ADA rights violations, and their IA things that have not been properly followed through on. So when you wrote your thing to the civil grand jury, that means that was not the truth. Also, the Citizen Police Oversight Commission needs to meet. It should have been meeting all this time. It has. How many times has it met in the years? Two?
Thank
in
you,
over a
Ms.
decade?
Kraft. Operator, time is up. Next caller.
And there he goes.
Moving to the next caller.
Hello. This is Gil Matthew, District 4. Mayor and City Council. On the tax, I support the tax, H1 or I1, and I'm urging the residents to vote yes. That is not a tax on the residents. It doesn't affect the residents in any way. And also the property transfer tax only affects those who sell in their house. And it's not on the seller. It's negotiable in the escrow. So that's a plus. If the funds are earmarked for something helpful to the city, and what we need now is to have the city give the residents some value from the stadium and so forth. And we need an accounting. We're in good shape. We got a lot of development going on, but we're going to need good financial management. And I do support the tax. Yes, vote yes.
Okay.
It's beneficial to the city.
Okay, Gil, we're all sitting here stunned. I want you to know that. Stunned.
I know you're stunned.
Stunned.
So just sit down.
We're in shock, buddy, but you are, this is the first time I said that. You are right. You're right. It is a fee that's levied at the sale of a property, and the only time it increases from the 55 cents per thousand is when you sell a property for more than 1.1 million. And to put that into a number, if you sell something for 1.2 million as opposed to just under 1.1, the price imposed would go from $660 to about $2,200. So we're talking about somewhere between $1,500 and $1,600, and that is negotiable to be paid by the buyer as well. And the reality is, if you sold a property, if you owned a house and it went to 1.2 million, you probably made about 800,000 on the transaction. So what this does, it really affects commercial sales, so that people that come, and a lot of people are coming and buying in Inglewood, that they pay their fair share. They're paying LA $4.50 per thousand. They come here and they pay 55 cents per thousand. They go to Culver City, they pay $4.50 per thousand. Then as soon as they get to over $1 million, it's $6 per thousand. So we are so far behind other cities, and we have so much to do for our residents. And so I want to thank you, Mr. Matthew, for your comments. And now, is there another caller?
We currently have no additional callers.
All right, with that, we'll close public comment. We'll go to council comment. District 1, Councilman Dodson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't really have a comment. I just want to congratulate the Chargers on a great win last night. And when they win, we win. The rest of you guys, make sure you wash your hands, take the distance, wear a mask, and we can get out of this COVID. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Thanks, Mayor, and I'll take his 2 minutes.
What you always do.
Man, come on now. But, I just want to thank Harjinder Singh. He's out here. Good staff report about the reorg of the library. The libraries are very important here in our city, as they are in many communities. We value our libraries and folks that come and use them. And I like the fact that we're taking it to the next level. So to think about how we're going to reorg and the way you put it in the staff report, it was very well done. Thank you. Those folks that travel through Inglewood, getting to the stadium or to our local restaurants and businesses. If you're going up and down Centinela, you know we've already started the initial street improvement project. Bear with us. We're trying to accommodate traffic. We're trying to make sure that we keep traffic flow up and down Centinela going. Again, this is a project that's going to take about a year or so, and it's starting from La Cienega down Centinela all the way to Florence. So it's going to be incremental, so please be patient with us. Associated with traffic, the games, at the stadium, I've been telling folks to use the shuttle. Well, we had a lot more people using the shuttle this past weekend. I know that getting to the stadium was quick, but, a lot of folks are jumping on that shuttle, especially when we leave the stadium, which is great. That's a good thing. But again, be patient because we are using as many shuttles as we can. I kind of have to follow that patience thing as well. But it's a good thing. Everybody has a great time, assuming your team won. You enjoy it, but be patient with us as we work our way through the traffic issues. This is new to us as a city in the sense that, we had it years ago, we brought it back, and now we're making assessments and looking at how we can best serve the needs of our community. But not all traffic is bad traffic. It's good to have a traffic issue. It's good to have the teams, the sports that we have here. Our businesses are flourishing. They're doing better than ever before. Those are good things. Be patient and understanding with us. We're our own worst enemy as residents because we're the ones that are out there putting trash cans at the curb to reserve parking. And then we complain about everybody else that we can't find parking. We're putting cones at the curb to reserve parking. There is no reserving of parking spots anywhere in the city of Inglewood on public streets. We just don't do that. So please, our own residents, we're our own worst enemy. Use your driveway, use your garage. You don't have to keep putting abandoned cars, and then pushing them somewhere else just because you wanted to save your parking spot.
Councilman, can I interject for a minute? Like in cities like Pasadena, they have areas where there's no overnight parking to prevent people from coming and hoarding parking in a neighborhood. And so people will be safer because they will know the cars that are in their neighborhoods.
And we are bending over backwards to allow as much parking as possible. We truly are. So again, let's not be our own worst enemy. Let's, work with us as we work through this, and we're gonna, be better off for it.
We're
So with that,
gonna grow as a community.
we are 100%. I'm excited about it. With that, thank you so much.
Okay. Councilwoman Falk, District 4.
No. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mayor. Just a few comments for me. I also watched the game last night, the Chargers and Raiders, and it was a really good game. And so it just makes it even better. It's right here happening in Inglewood. I mean, how good can it get? So it was a fun game, and I enjoyed watching the Raiders fans. They go hard, and so they went hard yesterday. They started in the morning, and they took it all the way through. So it's always good to see that. Also, just wanted to acknowledge that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and hello, they have on the beautiful pink. I'm not wearing my pink, but they have on the beautiful pink, so I messed up on that. But this is an important time for women to make sure that they get detected early. Breast cancer happens to over 232,000 women annually. And so it's really important to get your annual detections and make sure that you get checked out so that you can catch it early. So just wanted to acknowledge that. Wear your pink and be safe. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Morales, District 3.
Concerns, I can tell you that, this is years in the making. years in the making, even before we thought about anything having to do with the stadium. I think Mr. Atwell, you were here when I first started talking about it a while back, right? Years ago. So this has been an evolution. I totally expect there to be questions and some complaints and concerns, but we'll deal with those. I'm happy that we finally came to a resolution after our consultant did a tremendous amount of study before we did this. So I look forward to that. One of the callers also mentioned the fact that the community needs to start feeling the benefits of the stadium and all the development, and we agree. We agree. We talk about that all the time. It's definitely coming. We have great plans for the city of Inglewood. Some of which I want to point out, though, is we've already felt. There's been I think the mayor says that more streets have been done in the last 7 years than we have for like the last 20 or 40 years, which is an incredible stat that I completely believe. We can't have a construction truck on every street in the city at the same time, so it's being timed out. We've also started to trim our trees a lot more often. We have begun to return to full service at our parks and at our library, which shout out to Harjinder. I know Alex said it, you're doing a great job over there, and you know how I feel about the library. That being said, those are specific areas where we are making an impact with the growth that the city is having. Some of what we're dealing with with the parking and with the traffic and everything else, I mean, we're also getting used to our own success, but that's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, our growth is going to have certain, collateral changes, which we are addressing. If you go to dinner to Pasadena, Santa Monica on a special occasion, you see that. Now you're starting to see it here when there's a game. You see it when you're getting off of the freeway. You see it when you're driving down the street. It is no different than the cities who are looked upon as examples. I'm very proud of that. So let's get used to our own success, and we'll work it out as we go along. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I got.
You all are so on point. It gets to me when there are people that try and convince people in Inglewood that we should not have the same level of services, same amenities as the Pasadenas, Beverly Hills, and Santa Monica. It's like, as long as you're getting by, well, then that's enough. No, that's not good enough. The reality is we're once again a destination city. There are costs incurred with that. Our residents deserve the top quality of services that go with a city that's a sports entertainment destination for the state. And so for us to have left this property transfer fee as it was, like 1/5 of what, no, it was 1/8, 1/9 of what the city of Los Angeles and Culver City, Beverly Hills is, was ridiculous. Ridiculous to let people come in now that Inglewood is desirable, buy multi-million-dollar properties, and not pay what they would pay in other cities. And they're still not going to be paying at $1.2 million. This affects only about 2% of our sales, but it has the potential to generate about $3.5 million a year. Money that'll be used for services. So I really wanted to piggyback on particularly what Eloy said. The reality is things have changed. We're a different city. We're not struggling to get by. We want quality services for our residents, and that's very important. It's very important to me. It's very important to the council. And with that, we're adjourned.